Do we exist? Maybe.
Are you, like me, slowly losing your mind and often experiencing this surreal feeling that maybe none of this is actually real? Have you ever thought that maybe one day the lights will dim on Earth and you'll open your eyes, your real eyes, only to find out that everything that you just experienced was a virtual reality game? Does the movie The Truman Show give you the creeps because of how eerily real it feels? Well, even if none of these statements resonate with you, reality only seems to be getting stranger and stranger. And so I thought right now might be a good time to explore the simulation theory. Are we on Earth living in a simulation? Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the Baby Elephant community. On this channel, we talk about spirituality, self-development, law of attraction, and so much more. Today, we're talking about the simulation theory. If you've been watching one or two videos and you like what you see, I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can find out whenever I post one of these thought-provoking, mind-expanding, vibration-raising new videos. I've been really excited to talk about this because this is moving towards more of the kind of content that I am consuming these days, the things that I'm interested in, and I do believe that it all goes hand in hand with spirituality, which we will get to towards the end of the video. So let's talk about the simulation theory. The simulation theory is the proposal that all of reality, everything that we're experiencing, everything that you've experienced your entire life, is in fact an artificial computer-generated simulation, an illusion created by virtual reality. Could we be living inside of a computer-generated existence where everything around us is actually code? Some of the greatest minds of our time, such as Neil deGrasse Tyson and Elon Musk, seem to think so. In fact, Elon Musk said that the odds of us living in an actual reality, meaning not in a simulation, are 1 to 1 billion, meaning that the likelihood is that we are living in a simulation. So towards the end of this video, I want to explore the spiritual thought of reality as a simulation or as an illusion. But first, let's see what science says about it. So this thesis was proposed by Nick Bostrom in 2003, and it postulates that in the future, as humanity evolves into greater computer power, into greater processing and better technology, if there is the ability to create an ancestor simulation, and if there is the desire to do so, then we are likely already in that simulation now. That means that if future generations, if our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren, whatever it is, have the ability to create a simulated reality, and they have the desire to do so, whatever may drive that desire, then we're living in there right now. This is that simulated reality. So considering the exponential rise of processing time of computers in just the last 30 years, it's not incomprehensible to consider that a computer with that processing speed necessary to create a simulated reality for billions of people could one day exist. If we continue at this rate, at some point, it's possible that we're going to have computer technology with unlimited processing capabilities. Our technology, our movies, our games will become so immersive rather than just incorporating sound and vision like we do now, like a movie experience or virtual reality, right? They'll also be able to immerse our other senses, such as our touch, our smell, even taste. And all of this will create a full simulated reality. So is it possible that the lived experience that we are in right now, this life, is not actually real in the sense that we believe it to be? So it is very possible, but it would require a few things, according to Bostrom. First, humanity would have to evolve to a post-human stage, a stage where we're capable of running such advanced technology. So quantum physics has postulated the observer effect, that whatever is being observed actually changes based on the observer, on what or whom is observing it. So it's possible that if we are in a simulation, the observer effect is kind of like a method of rendering, right? So it's saving memory or processing power, basically meaning that nothing exists until you observe it, until you look at it. So this plant only exists when I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it through the lens behind me, but when I look away from it, to save memory, to save processing power, it's no longer there. And things only render when we put our eyes on them. The second thing that would have to happen is humanity would need to be interested in running this type of simulation for one reason or another. So perhaps our future generations will be interested in seeing how their ancestors lived, how we lived in 2020. I bet 2020 would be a hit of a year to simulate, and a lot of people would want to be alive during this time just to see how it all went down. Also, let's be real. Who hasn't been obsessed with a game such as Sims at one point in their lives? A game where we watch or where we play as a character, just living out their life in one way or another. There's something so curious and fascinating about just watching other people live their lives. I think that's why reality television is so popular. The third thing that would have to happen is humanity would have to pass all the great filters that likely lie ahead of us. That we don't self-destruct due to nuclear war, that we don't kill each other, that we survive all great natural disasters, and that no black hole will consume the universe. With all of these huge requirements, the odds still favor that we are living in a simulated reality. And we have some interesting proof of that, such as the eerie similarity of DNA to computer code, the discovery of computer code in superstring theory, and supernatural activity that can't quite be explained by science, but that would be explained by a glitch in the Matrix. There are also so many tips and hints that the Matrix seems to feed us, almost as if the creator of this simulation dropped Easter eggs for us to discover. So we have certain movies such as The Matrix, right? Avatar, The Truman Show, Vanilla Sky, Source Code, Inception, many episodes of Rick and Morty, and other comedy shows that kind of attempt to reveal the nature of reality. The simulation theory is so convincing that a few years ago, a rumor escaped from Silicon Valley. Apparently, two tech billionaires are putting scientists to work to find a way to break us out of the Matrix. The names were withheld, but some publications did point to Elon Musk being one of those billionaires. So if we are simulated, does that actually change anything for us? I don't really believe it does, and I'll talk a little bit about my belief about the simulated Matrix reality. But I do believe that we continue to live life the same. Maybe it was just a little bit more awareness because, we know that for some reason or another, we are here. We put ourselves here, or someone put us here. So let's be aware of how we live our lives rather than living in autopilot and just living in the way that other people want us to. So if you look at the spiritual perspective of all of this, one that I am much more drawn to, one that resonates with me much more, and it resonates with the mystical and the miraculous things that I have experienced in my own life, then I think all this gets even more interesting. Many cultures and indigenous knowledge around the world have shared their perspective on the illusion of reality. However, in their stories, though we are living in a simulation, it is biological, it's natural, not artificial. So consider this. In an artificial reality scenario, outside of the simulation, you might be a human or post-human, or perhaps simply consciousness without a body. You're hooked up to machines, and all your senses are immersed into this simulated reality. So for me, the question here would be, well, why have we forgotten that that's the case? And perhaps that's the point, right? That one of the functions of this artificial simulation is that you forget that you're playing a game. And the whole point is to find out, to figure it out and then get somewhere or win something. Now, in a natural or a biological simulation, you are spirit, you are soul. And perhaps you decide to explore yourself. And so you create this illusion, this other world in which you can explore yourself in limitless ways. Perhaps through the experience of 7.5 billion people and trillions of vessels of life, including the animal and plant kingdom. You decide that there are certain things that you want to experience. So you make contracts with other aspects of your soul or other souls, and you fall out of heaven or the top of the wheel, right from here, out of God's source energy to become denser and denser and denser until you exist in the physical world, which on some level you created as well. And so in this case scenario, you are not hooked up to a machine, rather you consciously decide to become forgetful, to get this amnesia along with everyone else on the planet and discover yourself through a limited experience of yourself, along with all other expressions of yourself in this earth realm. So in Hinduism, there's a concept called Maya, the world as an illusion. Translations of Maya include the power of the principle that conceals the true character of spiritual reality. So Maya doesn't mean that this world isn't real. It's not just a figment of human imagination, rather that the world is simply not as it seems, that it is misleading, especially as far as our true nature is concerned. And so according to Hinduism, if Maya is true, we are living in this veiled reality, the illusion that conceals us from our true spiritual nature and reality. Now, the ancient Chinese text Zhuang, and I know I'm saying that wrong, I'm so sorry. It contains stories of the ideal Taoist sage. One of the most famous passages is called the butterfly dream. I'll read that to you. Once, Zhuang dreamed he was a butterfly flitting and fluttering about, happy with himself and doing as he pleased. He didn't know that he was Zhuang. Suddenly he woke up and there he was, solid and unmistakable Zhuang. But he didn't know if he was Zhuang who had dreamt he was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming that he was Zhuang. Between Zhuang and the butterfly there must be some distinction. This is called the transformation of things. So there could also be this integrated perspective of all this that combines both the science and natural reality. Imagine if our ancestors chose the spiritual path but also advanced technologically, and so they could merge the two. So think about the movie Avatar. So we might get hooked up to these artificial machines, but we're transported into this biological, supernatural world such as Pandora. So are we living in a simulation? In an artificial one or a biological one? The odds are favoring that we are. And what does that change for you? For me, it gives life more meaning. It means that we are more than just what evolved from some sort of cosmic goop soup. There is a reason why we are here, and though we might not know it yet, we must live to our greatest ability and to discover ourselves and enjoy every moment as best as we can, being good to one another, always being good to one another, because otherwise, we might be wasting processing power. And if we do live in a simulation, artificial or biological, do you feel like that changes anything for you? I'd love to hear about this and to keep the conversation going in the comments below. Please leave this video a thumbs up if you want more content like this. I love making it. I love researching this. I think about it all day long. I read about idealism and materialism and quantum physics and all this stuff all day long, and I'd love to share that with you. So let me know if you want more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I love you so much, and always keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.